The question is that the proposed expenditure be agreed to, and I call the member for Canberra.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I'm really pleased to rise today as part of this consideration in detail on one of the most important issues facing Australia, and that is housing. And here in the ACT, in my electorate of Canberra, people are experiencing the pressures of housing affordability to a huge extent, as much and if not more than anyone around this country. In the 2021 census, we learnt that more households in the electorate of Canberra, in fact 38%, were renters compared with the national average of 30.6%. We also know that around 9% of Canberra households— That's the state in which my electorate is. I'm part of the ACT. That's why I'm talking about the ACT. Anyway, I'm just going to get on with my speech. It'd be nice to be heard in silence.
The member will be heard in silence.
We also know that around 9% of Canberra households have rent or mortgage repayments greater than 30% of their household incomes, meaning that 9% of Canberrans are currently living in either rental or mortgage stress. And while Canberra is a relatively well-off community with average incomes higher than the national average and relatively low unemployment, it actually means that it is a very difficult place to live on a low income, and that our rents and our housing costs are very high in this city. Approximately 1,160 Canberrans on census night were experiencing homelessness, making up around 0.8% of our city's population. So these issues are really acute, and I found this recently as I have run a deliberative process, the Canberra Forum, over the last 6 months, which involves 40 randomly selected Canberrans who have come together to choose a topic and make recommendations to me. And in fact, the topic, after much thoughtful consideration that they chose, was housing, and so they have spent time hearing from experts and working on that. And I was incredibly pleased and thankful to have the Minister for Housing and Homelessness come and address that group, and I know that the group found that really a very important discussion that they had with her. And something that was really important to the group of Canberrans is that housing be seen as a human right. And so I am very pleased that this is exactly how our government and our Minister and our Prime Minister sees housing, that this is an incredibly important issue right now for Australians, and it's central to the dignity and well-being of each and every Australian. And of course, right now in the Senate, we are trying to get through our $10 billion Housing Australia Future Fund to deliver 30,000 new social and affordable homes in the fund's first 5 years, and delivering investments of $500 million per year into social and affordable homes. This is, of course, also prioritising housing for women and children escaping domestic violence and for veterans facing homelessness. And my question is how anybody in this place who is listening to their constituents could vote against new homes being built, particularly for those priority groups. And if they are truly listening to anyone in their electorates who is experiencing these issues, I don't understand how they can vote this way. And of course I'm talking about those in the Liberal National Party and the Greens who are failing to support this incredibly important future fund that we are establishing to build homes, because we believe that housing is a human right and centrally important. And this is just one of the things we are doing to invest in housing at the moment. And to talk again about the ACT, part of which I represent in this place. In the 2022-23 budget, our government provided assistance to 3 Reconnect services in the ACT, namely the Guggen Youth Aboriginal Corporation, Catholic Care Canberra and Goulburn, and the Queanbeyan Multilingual Centre. The Reconnect program is a community-based early intervention program for young people aged between 12 and 21. And these 3 particular organisations have assisted 140 young people experiencing or at risk of homelessness to get secure housing, because we are a government that understands that safe and affordable housing is central to the security and dignity of all Australians. The Housing Accord that we announced in last year's budget, which includes federal funding to deliver 10,000 affordable homes over 5 years, the regional first home buyer guarantee is already helping thousands of Australians into home ownership after the Albanese government brought forward its launch by 3 months. And again, my question is how anyone could not get behind these measures to build more homes for Australians.
The question is that the proposed expenditure be agreed to, and I call the member for Deakin.